What's happening, guys? Welcome back to the channel for yet another Real Talk episode. Today we're going to be talking about a holster company, and not the one that we've been talking about for the past several weeks for bad reasons. We're going to talk about this one for good reasons, and that is TXC holsters. But before we get into the TXC lineup, why I like their overt, why I like their covert, we're going to talk about all that good stuff and some auxiliary complementary products as well that kind of go along with that, what I've been using lately in my competitions and for everyday carry. We do have to thank the biggest sponsor of the channel, which is Brownells. If you guys do want to support the channel, please head over to rangedaybro.com. You can pick up any of our merch, like these shirts right here. We have the Bucky's Operator. We also have our discounts page where you can find all of our affiliate codes and links over there. When you shop with those, it does support the channel, so thank you so much for doing so. Don't buy anything you don't need. Don't give in to the consumerism. But if you need something and you're going to buy it anyways, I would appreciate it if you use my links. Also, check out our loadouts page, subscribe to our email list, all the things. I love you guys. Thank you so much for all the support. Now, with that being said, the reason I wanted to start with this guy, if I keep looking over here, it's because that's where my monitor is to see what you guys are seeing. The reason I want to start with the Tier 1 concealed here is because this is the holster that I used for years. I think I carried this holster for about 3 to 3.25 years before getting into the TXC holsters. And I love this holster because I had a bunch of different firearms, like many of you probably do. As you can tell on the wall behind me, I have a bunch of different pistols. And this holster uses the light, the weapon light, to index off of. So whatever light would fit, whatever the holster was cut for, if the light would fit on that handgun, it would fit in the holster. Everything from a FNX 45 tactical on the high end in 2011s, all the way down to a Glock 19, so on and so forth. If it had the rail to fit the Streamlight in this case, then it would work with this holster. So I love this holster because I spent a lot of money on holsters with Tier 1 concealed prior to buying the MSP, buying a specific gun, a specific light combo, all the way back to a lot of them were cut for my Glock 19s or Glock 17s with O lights. That's how far back I've been a customer of Tier 1 concealed. Now, this is not to shit on or put anybody down. I think Tier 1 makes good products, but for reasons we'll talk about here shortly, I do prefer the TXC. But real quick, I just want to show you guys a couple draw strokes. A couple strokes for you guys right here real quick. I'm going to turn this fan up real quick also so you can see I'm a big dude. I'm 6'1", 260 pounds right now. I can afford to lose a few lbs, but it is what it is. I'm working every day, drinking a lot of water. But I want to turn this fan up that's right in front of me all the way up to full blast, so forgive the audio. But I want to show you guys on a windy day what it looks like. You can kind of tell, if you know what you're looking for, you can kind of tell that I'm printing a little bit, and this is with a Glock 19. So compact frame, big dude. You know, I can tighten my belt down a little bit, which we'll talk about the belt in a second. Also Tier 1 concealed, branded. But yeah, I just want to show you guys a couple draw strokes just to get, just like what I would do dry fire before I leave the house normally or go on a train. And I don't have the timer on me, but I have a lot of reps on this holster. So I'm still pretty quick with it, as quick as I am with even the TXC. But we'll talk about it in a second why I really like the TXC, because right there, I just did exactly what I'm going to talk to you all about. I actually hit the wing when I'm going in because I've been using the TXC for so long now, probably about 7-8 months now. So when I draw this, I'm having to limit the depth at which I get my grip on this, and it's just not as comfortable, not as quick, but definitely a good holster. There's dudes who shoot way better than me that carry Tier 1 concealed MSP holsters. There's nothing wrong with this. If this is all I had, I wouldn't go throw it in the trash by any means. But let's just move on real quick since we're already on the topic to the next guy, this guy right here. So this is the covert from Tier 1 concealed. I want to come up and show you guys this with a little bit more, this light is going to be a bit of an issue. Let's move this guy back. Hopefully you guys can see this well. Turn that brightness up. So what this holster does, and I'll show you here because it's going to be hard to do it once it's in my pants. This guy has a big built-in wedge on the Kydex right here that you can see, and the actual clip itself is angled out. Now it also uses steel clips, which I do prefer. Tier 1 does have that option, but this guy uses steel clips. It does have a much better bite on the belt. After going back to those plastic clips today on the Tier 1 concealed, after just carrying it for a day, I definitely had much less confidence in these plastic like stock clips that it comes with, because it felt like it was going to slip right off at any moment. We are carrying the Glock 19X in this guy, so just for full disclosure, I just want to show you it is a bigger handgun with a magazine well, unlike the 19. But again, this wedge right here, what it does is it creates a pocket. It eliminates the need for a wedge, number one. And it creates a pocket in your pants for these 3 fingers right here to go in. When you grab the gun, now you have a pocket, a space for your hand to go to get a better purchase on the gun. Again, it may not seem like a big deal, but it is, and I'll try to translate it on camera for you guys, but let me just see if I can. It's probably not going to show, again, just given the angles. You probably have to see a top-down angle, which I don't know if I'm willing to do. I forgot my mic was back here, so sorry if you guys couldn't hear me, but again, maybe you can see that from here. You can see this little pocket, which is usually being created by the wedge or by the, by the wing on the Tier 1 concealed. But what I'm finding and what I used to always run into is my hand would come in and get clipped on this wing, or it would just create a very small pocket, a very small window for your hand to go into. With the TXC, it makes a very big open gap, and there's no wing for your hand to get caught on. So when you're drawing your draw stroke, it's just a lot easier to get a consistent draw stroke and get your hand with a complete full purchase on the handgun and pluck it out of the holster. So that's first and foremost. Also, one thing I forgot to mention, the backup magazine caddy for the Tier 1, the version that I have, it has like this bungee system here. So you'd have to bungee this, undo this bungee cord, and it bungees on right there. They do have versions where the clip is on the actual magazine caddy. Mine is not that version, but I do prefer the TXC one as well. It has these little swivels in here, so you actually can loosen this and tilt it back and forth, get the exact cant that you want. Again, using that steel clip, I forget what they call these clips. It has like a picture of a vitals on it. I forget what they're called, but when you throw this guy in as well, it's very comfortable. And then I'll turn this fan up as well so you guys can see again what it looks like. Here we go. Still kind of same situation. If you know what you're looking for, you can see that I'm printing a little bit, but a much bigger gun with a magazine well. After a few draw strokes, the shirt kind of gets stretched out in that way that it doesn't hide it as well, but you get the point. It still conceals very well. If I had less of a gut, it would conceal even better, but it's a very easy, simple, smooth system. It's an ingenious design, honestly. That wedge in the front creates that pocket. You can get your reloads in, super simple. Didn't knock it in far enough, but you guys get the point. It's always when I'm on the spot, I don't get the smooth reloads, but let's do one more real quick just to show you guys. And you could put this magazine wherever you want. I just prefer it right next to it in the front. So give me a beat. I heard it. Ah! Okay, I haven't been practicing my reloads from concealment, and it shows. But a big fan of this system, a big fan of this holster. For full disclosure, they did send me these holsters out. I do not get any kickback from you purchasing these. It's just a pretty base company. I actually learned about them from Will with Orion Training Group. He works for them. I think he's their social media guy. I don't know how that relationship works. I think he helps them develop the holsters. But he's a super cool dude, really good shooter. And he was running these holsters, the Overt, which we'll talk about here in a second, in the class that I took with them at the ranch in Dilley, Texas. So I learned about this system while there, even though we weren't shooting from concealment. He was just carrying with this, and I was kind of blown away when I saw this pocket that this wedge created, and this design is pretty ingenious to me. So I'm a huge fan of this holster. Let's move on really quickly before we move on to the overt system and the war belt setup. Let's really quickly just show you guys. I know a lot of people ask me what I'm carrying every day, so I'll just go through the rest of my EDC. So it's either the Glock 19 or the Glock 19X, typically the Glock 19X lately, even though I'm going to be switching it over. And the beautiful part about this holster is it's open-ended, just like the MSP is open-ended as well. So Glock 19, Glock 19X with a comp or threaded barrel will also fit in here. Glock 17 will fit in here. Glock 17 with a comp will fit in here. So it leaves you a lot of versatility for the slide length. So as long as you have a Glock with a Surefire, it'll work. So I'm just going to swap these guys out real quick because I got a brand new barrel and comp while at GunCon. And I'm going to be doing a lot more testing with this guy here moving forward. So this is the Afterburner Ramjet combo, and this thing looks absolutely dirty with this Glock 19X frame. So I'm a big fan of the way this looks. Still haven't had a chance to really put a lot of rounds through it yet, but so far I am very happy with the way this thing performs. It just feels great. And again, it'll fit back in the covert holster. So this is actually the setup that I've been running lately. I just had the shorter grip on there because I was running it in my off-body carry bag, I guess you could say, the 945 Industries. So, but we have a Benchmade bailout knife. It's a Tonto blade. Again, this isn't a knife channel, so we'll be very quick with that. In OD green. It's got a little glass breaker on the back. I carry this Zac Tools. This is how I carry my keys. It's called Zac Tools keyring. This is like a cop thing, I think. I'm pretty sure this is marketed like to police officers. It's called Zac Tool. I don't know if you guys can see that, but hopefully it's focusing. It's just got a big D-ring here, or whatever you want to call this, a big ring, and it just snaps on and just clips into place. You can just pull it off and on, which I really like. And then I'm usually carrying a flashlight, usually a smaller one, because I have a dedicated light for my gun, so it's usually just a little utility light. This is the Streamlight Micro Stream USB. These are really cheap on Amazon. I think I paid 30 bucks for it. And then lastly, of course, cannot forget the Mozambiques, I should say. This one is Cool Mint, and I'm trying to quit these, but I am deathly addicted to them, and I will admit that. I've had a lot of trouble admitting that lately. So, usually carrying a pack of Zins on me. And then lastly, before we switch over to the overt, is the Next belt that is TXC branded. So I'm not 100% sure how exactly this works, but TXC did send this out. It's a Next belt, so I'm sure you could probably get them from anywhere, but the TXC branded one is pretty cool. It's got their little logo on it. This is the best part. So with this belt, you see the system right here. This is the best part about this. So previously I wore the Blue Alpha Gear, I get them confused all the time. I think it was Blue Alpha Gear belt. It was their EDC belt. Great little belt. Actually, here's the inner for it, I believe. Yeah, it's in these pants. So shout out Norm Tactical for the pants. I did buy these pants, by the way, but they're pretty good quality. So Blue Alpha Gear. This was the belt that I used for years. And this is the inner belt version. I had the regular EDC version that did not have the loop Velcro on here that I wore all the time. But the problem is when you want to adjust it, you're doing this all the time. So you sound like a 5-year-old taking their shoes off in the middle of a nice restaurant when you're carrying, because you just ate a big fat steak and you need to adjust your belt because you're thick thighs save lives. That's not cool, bro. And it's not a good look when you're a grown man and you're just got Velcro on your belt. So this I didn't even know existed, and what it does is it's pretty much just like a ratchet system. So it clips into place. So you have these little snaps in the back. It goes in, and then it keeps going as much as you want, and it locks. So you can go further in, and it locks into place. And there's a little button on the bottom here. You just press that button, and you can undo it, adjust it, very discreetly adjust it, no sound. A little bit if you put it at the right angle, I guess it makes some sound, but very quiet and very satisfying to actually mess with and play with. But very cool, one size fits all. So it's got your belt loop measurements in here. You just cut it to length, and as you lose weight, you can adjust it, but obviously you can't add belt back. So leave it a little bit big. The only problem with leaving it too big is that the extra will hang over, and then when you get in your car, it'll start to bend it back a little bit and just become annoying and get in the way. So what I actually do is I run the belt itself, the clip, instead of running it right here in the front, because that's where my holster goes, I run it between these two loops here on the side. So I'll actually start it when I'm putting it on at this back loop, and then I'll have it completed over here like so that when I'm putting this thing on like this, I have a clean front surface to put my clip on for my holster. So that is the Covert from TXC Holsters. Again, I make no money off of talking about them, promoting them. I just really like their products. This is another company whose products I like. This is HRT Tactical Gear. I do have a code with them. This is their new inner belt. The code is RDB5. This is a very simple inner belt design, super lightweight. I don't know what this is called, what this material is called. I'm blanking on it right now, but it's super lightweight, super strong material, and then it's just got the loop Velcro all the way sewn on the inside. So for the inner belt, we have to come up close to the camera so that I don't flash you guys on camera. YouTube probably won't demonetize that, even though they demonetize taking suppressors or doing anything to a firearm on camera, but flashing your stuff on camera probably gets you extra goodie points on that front, but we're not going to do that. We're not that kind of channel here, so sorry to disappoint you boys and girls. Throw this guy on, inner belt. Again, rocking the Norarm Tactical Combat Pants, Kandahar Combat Pants. These are a game changer. Have the knee pads. I don't always run the knee pads in them, but if I'm going to a match, I know I'm going to be, dropping down quickly on rough surfaces. It's definitely a big helper, big knee saver. Older you get, helps to save those knees. And then let's go to the belt itself. So I actually have the new HRT belt here. I just haven't had any time to get this belt set up because, as you guys know, if you've set up belts before, they're kind of a pain. Once you have one belt set up, it's kind of a pain to switch. But this one is, again, from HRT Tactical. Super nice belt. This is their brand new belt. And again, I haven't had a chance to set it up yet, but it's super lightweight. It's got the cobra buckle in the front. I'm looking forward to trying this, but I haven't tried it yet, so I can't speak to how good it is. First impressions, it feels great, it looks great, but let's go to the tried and trusty and true. Again, this is I think it's the Blue Alpha. I'm pretty sure this is the Blue Alpha, the same as the inner belt. I've had this war belt for a very long time. War belt sounds kind of cringe. I've had this external belt for a very long time, and it has never failed me. So it's kind of what I keep using. But we do have TXC holsters for the mag pouches. We have 2 rifle mag pouches here and 2 pistol mag pouches here. Now, before we continue on, I do just want to say this is probably more of a patrol type setup or a competition type setup than it is a without rule of law should hit the fan, because besides tension on these, there's nothing securing these. So if you're gonna be crawling through mud, jumping, doing really cool guy things, there's really nothing securing these. Would I trust them if this is all I had? Yes, I could definitely tighten these down to the point where they're really hard to pull out. But in those situations, you'd probably want something with a active retention system, like a flap that goes over Velcro, something like that. But that's pretty obvious to most of you, so we'll leave it at that. These guys, I'm pretty sure these are Blade Tech. So I didn't want to butcher this because I already forgot the system that they use to attach their holsters. I'm 99% sure they're Blade Techs. So someone correct me in the comments. If I'm wrong, you probably recognize this already. This is not made by them, but it is included with their holsters. I don't know if it's included or if it's an upgrade. That's what they sent me. And we're going to talk about this war belt setup. Before we keep rambling on, let's put this thing on and show you guys how it actually works and why I really like it. So I always index it right off the front here. And per Will's instructions, I have a little red marker on the holster itself to remind me where my holster goes right here on the belt. So I don't know if you guys can see that, but there's a little red line right here so that if my holster shifts for whatever reason, I can shift it back to where I need it based off of the belt index line. All right, so now that we got this thing on, so I'm going to show you guys. I've been working on my scoop draw, part of Will's assignments from, he makes videos with TXC that are really great, so I highly recommend them. But so real quick, mag in the gun, no ammo in the gun. Always double check before you start dry firing. No ammo, no ammo. And we'll do the rifle stuff in a little bit. But right here, the best part about this is this thing is completely 100% configurable. We'll show you in a minute. But you can turn these magazine caddies any direction you want. 360 degrees by 1 degree increments. You can change them, so I have it perfectly set up to where I like it. And I haven't dry fired in a minute, so forgive me if this is pretty rusty, but I've been practicing my scoop draw, which Will did teach me, so I'm gonna give myself a little mental focus here. Really quick, guys. This Blade Tech allows you to adjust the holster at any cant you want. So you just push this little tab down here and you can rotate it any degree you'd like. I run mine slightly to the rear, like so. And all I do on the scoop draw, Will has a way better video on this, so go watch his video at TXC's YouTube channel. Just run my middle finger right here on the side of the holster, forearms touching the pistol grip. I don't know if this is kosher for USPSA. I don't shoot USPSA. I shoot mostly Steel Challenge and things like that. And people are pretty chill there. So I don't know if I'd break any rules with the USPSA folks, but this is how I run my draw. Right here, I keep this left forearm just rested on my front mag here, ready to go. And then on the beep, I just run my hand up, I get my scoop here, I get my fingers on here, a little extended, then I close my grip, and that's what actually pulls the gun out of the holster. So it's like that. Again, Will has a really good video on this, so watch it, but it's pretty much boom, out of the holster, rotate up, this hand meets, I build my grip here, and then I bring it up into my line of sight. And this has been an absolute game changer for me in my competitions. So again, I'll just show you like a 1 round reload. Just want to confirm we are clear, we are empty. So I'll do one round reload, 1 round. I think it's pretty fast. Did I hit? Who knows? I mean, I had a good line of red on both pulls, but let's do it again. Make myself a better aiming point here. Okay. Again, feels incredible. It's hard to convey the quality on camera, but it is absolutely the nicest quality stuff I've ever run. Now, to show you guys better, I'm going to take this off and show you guys exactly what I'm talking about when it comes to the adjustability. You can see it right in here. So I'm going to zoom this camera in actually and step back. And this light with me. All right. Maybe not that close. Just go back there. So hopefully you guys can see this right in here. Yeah, I think you guys can see that right in there. You can see there's a circular pattern in which the screws are cut, and that allows you to, again, just loosen a few screws and turn this at any degree you'd like. The really cool part about the Blade Tech attachments are, and mine's a little bit more difficult to do because they ship it with these Velcro patches on the back, so anywhere these Blade Tech attachments are, you don't have sagging on your belt, so it'll still retain and keep your pouches and your heavy mags from sagging on your belt wherever your pouches are. But it does cover up a little bit this area where, well, not really, I guess, but that clip is how it's retained. So you just undo that clip. Hopefully you guys can see this right there. And then you can squeeze these, take them off. And then again, you can see the back of this will show you again just how adjustable these things are. So you can turn them any direction, put the screws in any place you want to get your holster exactly where you want it. I run this one in the front. It was a little bit of an experiment because, again, Will was running his in the front. His reason for doing so was because he's always in and out of vehicles, and so I wanted to try it out. A lot of people will say, well, how are you going to go prone with that holster in that position? And I can confirm it's really not that big of a deal. It's definitely not comfortable. If you're going to be prone for a long time, you probably don't want to have your holster, your mag pouch right in the front there. But again, if you're going to be in and out of vehicles or vehicle work, it's kind of the perfect position, and it's super, super duper fast. So let's put this back on. We'll do a rifle reload, show you guys what that's like. Because again, using it in matches, that rifle reload is kind of like a cheat code. And I'm sorry there's a lot of in between. It's the nature of the real talks, guys. They're unedited, so move my holster back up. Let's grab this guy right here. This is a very cool gun we're working on a review for, LMT Spec War 12.5. Confirm we're clear. This mag has ammo in it from my last competition. Let's find some empty mags. So we have 2 empty mags. Confirm, empty, empty, empty. Gun is empty, okay? So we're in our firing schedule, right? We're at the range, whatever we're dry firing, whatever we're doing. All right, I'm gonna show you guys how quick this reload is in the front here, okay? So I'm gonna come up, pick a spot. Well, I won't be able to fire because the bolt's locked to the rear. Let's just put the bolt forward, okay? So, on the beep, beep. Again, simulated a bolt release there, but didn't need to. So that was a pretty That was a pretty rough run as well. So let's do it again with the bolt drop, actually, this time, so you guys can see. Beep. Ah, messed it up again. All right, we'll try it one more time. This time, I'm just gonna focus on the reload and not making a fake beep sound. Better. Again, haven't dry fired with rifle in a long time. I want to do it one more time for you guys just to see it, kind of get the point, but at this point, I'm being selfish, just getting some reps in. All right, try it one more time. Of course, at the range, live fire, I promise it goes smoother. I have some videos of me shooting this thing super quick. And then the same with the rear pouch. I have it angled slightly forward. Just be able to easily grab it. So it works great. All that to say, I'm a huge fan of these holsters in pouches. Everything about them is top notch. The fit and finish is amazing. I'll show you guys this real quick as well. They classify this as their overt holster. So I'll show you what this one looks like up close, so you can see the quality. The other cool thing about the Blade Tech is you can just simply easily remove the holster, just like a QLS system, but the edges are perfectly rounded. I mean, there's really not one bad thing I can say about this holster. It works super well. Very low cut on the top as well. So if you are scoop drawing, you can just pull up and come straight out of the holster. You don't have to clear the entire holster up and then come out of the way. So very quick and easy to pull up and pull it up on target and get that sweep up instead of the whole old tactical thing where you're doing this whole thing, where you're wasting energy, wasting time. You just come straight up and out on target. So that's very nice. Nice big funnel for reholstering in the top. It's very easy to just put that gun right back in. Yeah, I'm a big fan of them. So if you guys are in the market, if you don't have something already, I would recommend you guys check these out. With the Blade Tech stuff, I'm really super happy with this setup. It's made me want to train more. It's made me shoot faster via the training. But everything is completely customizable. So however you want to run it, you could run it. You don't have to do this silly mag in the front thing if you don't want to. But I find it works really well, especially for quick reloads. As you can tell, I have the retention pretty tight on this one, because when you're sprinting, this one in the front tends to, when I had it not so tight, wanted to flop out because of the angle of it. But so I have it pretty tight nowadays. But again, big fan of this company, big fan of these holsters. That's gonna wrap it up for today, guys. Sorry that there was so much, production happening in between the actual topics and talking points, but it's kind of the nature of the beast and the real talks. If you guys do want to support the channel, rangedaybro.com for any merch, discounts. Please shop using the affiliate codes. If you guys are going to buy something, again, don't buy anything you don't need, but I do appreciate all the support. I love you guys. Christ is King. Drink a lot of water. Take care.